Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out. I am very happy to be able to do this, and I'm looking forward to having more and more content. I believe I'm getting better at this, so I'm very excited about it. I'm trying to smile more, which I'm doing, and I really am trying to get more substance to the videos and less of my personal experiences, but more substance. So tonight's topic will be stonewalling, and I'm going to read you the definition of stonewalling and see if this is something that you've encountered. Hopefully you haven't, but stonewalling is a very confusing way to have somebody communicate with you, or actually not communicate with you. So here's the definition of stonewalling, and then we'll discuss a little bit more. Here we go. Stonewalling is a refusal to communicate or cooperate. Such behavior occurs in situations such as marriage, guidance counseling, diplomatic negotiations, politics, and legal cases. Body language may indicate and reinforce this by avoiding contact and engagement with the other party. So they're just being like that. People use deflection in a conversation in order to render a conversation pointless and insignificant. Tactics in stonewalling include giving sparse, vague responses, refusing to answer questions, or responding to questions with additional questions. In most cases, stonewalling is used to create a delay rather than put the conversation off forever. I'm going to read a little bit more and then we'll carry on. When one or both members of a couple refuse to communicate, this can mark the final step in the breakdown of the relationship. It is characterized as the fourth horseman. Stonewalling was overwhelmingly done by men, and with women overwhelmingly using criticism and men's psychology. Okay, we're not going to talk about that part, but the point being, as stonewalling perpetuates in a relationship and becomes a continuous cycle, the negative effects of stonewalling outweigh the positive effects. Stonewalling then becomes the greatest predictor of divorce in a marriage. When one or both partners in a relationship stonewall, their ability to hear each other or listen to each other's disagreement, concern, side, or argument reduces their ability to engage and help address the situation. Stonewalling can be detrimental to relationships because there's often no chance of resolution of conflict. So that was a long definition that I read, but I hope you understand what stonewalling is now. Stonewalling is extremely frustrating, and again, this took place in my marriage. There is nothing more frustrating than when you're trying to communicate with your partner or communicate with someone, and just all you want to do is to be heard and have them reciprocate, so you can both understand where you're coming from. You can hopefully find resolution, agree to the resolution, and move on. And then you want to learn from that, and then you want to grow, and then keep going on. However, when stonewalling occurs, especially by the narcissist, what will happen is they don't want to hear your side of the story, or more importantly, they will listen to it but tune you out and not reply. Radio silence. And when stonewalling occurs, it's almost as if you're talking to a wall, kind of stonewalling. But the point, that wasn't on purpose. But the point is when when you're being stonewalled, it's very frustrating because you're taking your conversation seriously and you're trying to get your point across, and you do. And then the other person's like, okay, that's all you got? Really? And it's like you have all this energy and words you want to express, and you do it, and then the other person's just like, okay, so can we go to dinner now? Or are you done? Is that all you have? Things like that. It is so frustrating because they are in a healthy relationship. You're going to have two people discussing topics, questions, and concerns, and coming to a solution, or at least an agreement. And then hopefully you learn from that, and then you move on, and then you go about your business. But when you're in a narcissistic relationship and you're being stonewalled, it's like your point's worthless or not valid, or I really don't care about it. And do you have anything else to say? Because honestly, I'm kind of busy here. So let's move on. Stonewalling is not healthy. It leaves one's head spinning. Like, really, I just went through all of that effort, and I just discussed all of my emotions and my thoughts, and they fell upon deaf ears. No one's listening to me, and more importantly, it seems like no one cares. Again, this is a narcissist go-to. They will do this to you repeatedly, and in the beginning, you may not even be aware of it. You may be like, okay, maybe they didn't hear me. Okay, it's fine. Let's move on. But then maybe it'll happen again next week, and then you see a pattern, and you're like, what is this? How does my partner, or how does this relationship, how do we not give and take, and more importantly, how do we not communicate like healthy people, and just, okay, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I apologize, it was my fault, things like that. No. In the narcissistic relationship, you will get no apologies, no I'm sorry, no healthy, no empathy, I'm sorry, and you will be left holding the bag like, what just happened there? I don't get it. I don't understand how I could just let all of my thoughts be out, and this person just does not, they're not only listening to me, or maybe they're listening, but they're tuning me out, but they have no rebuttal. And again, when there's no resolution in the conflict, there's no answer for it. It goes unaddressed, and then it builds up. And the next time you have a conversation or something similar to that, again, it doesn't get addressed. So there's never a resolution, and these things build up and they build up, and eventually what you will find is your normal conversation will escalate, and then there's no solution whatsoever, because the narcissist does not want a solution. They just think everything's perfect in their world. But going back to stonewalling, if you recognize the signs, and if you see somebody that you know, or a loved one, or somebody, a significant other, doing this, get help, figure it out, maybe try and take a different approach. But stonewalling is very, very frustrating, extremely unhealthy, and it does not strengthen the relationship. As mentioned here, it says right here, with one or more members of a couple, when one or more members of a couple refuse to communicate, this can mark the final step in the breakdown of the relationship. That is what happens, and take it from me. When you're the only one trying to solve problems and come to logical and reasonable agreements, it can't work. You need two people to do it. And if the narcissist is not willing to do it, which most times they're not, that could be the end of things for you, or at least a red flag. Last thing I'm going to read to you is right here. When one or both partners in a relationship stonewall, their ability to hear each other or listen to each other's disagreement, concern, side, or argument reduces the ability to engage and help address the situation, because there's no chance for resolution of conflict. Whenever you're having a conflict, it's healthy to have a resolution, whether you were right or you were wrong, or you both agree that it was both of your fault, however that is. But resolution is key in your relationships. It's very important that people identify and say, yes, I was wrong. I made a mistake. I apologize. The narcissist will not do this. So just beware. And if you're in a narcissistic relationship, understand that stonewalling will happen. It's frustrating, but you need to understand what it is, and you need to get conflict resolutions of the conflict. In my case, it didn't happen, and that's the way it goes. But thank you guys for tuning into the channel. I hope you learned a lot about stonewalling today, and I am smiling more. Yeah, all right. And thank you. And like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Keep the channel going. I appreciate all the energy you guys are sending to me. I'm going to continue this, and you guys have a great night. I want to leave you, like I always do, with this comment. You are not alone. Remember, you are not alone. There are many people on your side going through exactly what you're going through, the same way I did. If you guys need anything, drop me an email, comment. I'm here for you. Nobody understands this like a narcissist abuse survivor like me. Bye.